top 5 single on Monday. So the story behind this song is this. I'm living in Nashville about a year and a half ago, and I go back to visit my family in LA, and I rent a car, and I'm neurotic about the way that process is. I'm just a weirdo. I'm set in my ways, but I was sitting in the car with the car turned on for more than 15 minutes before I could get my seat adjusted, figure out where I was going, put it in the nav, get out of the rental center, get on the highway, and actually feel like, okay, I can settle down now. I know that sounds like I'm a crazy person, but so I get on the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, and I'm meeting my buddy, and so I'm finally the 405 says you're gonna be on this for 18 years, and so I'm like, okay, I can settle down. And then I realized, what radio station have I been listening to? Turns out it was a local pop station that I grew up listening to my whole life, but in this case, you passively listen, you weren't paying attention, but you heard everything. I'm like, did I just hear 3 songs in a row that were all a dude talking about sleeping with a girl? It's not that that's surprising, because we get it, that song works. But I was like, really? 3 in a row? I feel like you just tried to brainwash me. So I started reasoning in my head about what the sweet version of that was. How can we talk about that but not actually say that? And it made me think of my parents. My parents have been married for 37 years. Nowadays, I'll give that. And my dad still says after 37 years, if mom's away for the weekend for a women's retreat or whatever it may be, if that's the case, I'm gonna walk in at 1 in the morning. Dad's gonna be up watching SportsCenter because he can't go to sleep in their bed. It's weird that she's not there. And my favorite thing about that was not only hey, my parents are awesome, but also that I don't think that you have to be married 37 years to appreciate that sentiment. I think if you're in a dating relationship and you get used to a goodnight phone call or text message, and then there's a night where you can't have it for whatever reason, you kind of freak out, and it affects your sleep. And so I was talking through that idea with Kyle before I had the title. I remember we were standing in the studio where he worked, and I was talking through it, and the words "sleep without you" came out, and I was like, ah! And you probably hate me because I was like, we're gonna write that together, and then the next day I had to write, and I wrote it with somebody else. It's all right. Kyle wrote on, in case you didn't know. He's totally getting credit for the next one. But the next day I walked in and I told this to these 2 writers, and they were like, we have to do that, and so we did. And it wasn't until Dan Huff made the record that we realized that was going to be a single, and thanks to people like Tim and stations like WYCD for taking a chance on new artists, we got a top 5 and it's still moving. So y'all, if you want to, he would really enjoy a call to his personal cell phone tomorrow to request "Sleep Without You." Between 3 and 5 a.m. would be perfect. No, seriously, y'all, enjoy Jared Neiman tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. If you know this song, please sing it with us. This is called "Sleep Without You."